pursue our passions, but for some reason, and when we look at it really from an objective point of view, the only person with a problem with work-life balance is man.
True.
Especially when it comes to relationships, because a man is looking at it from,
you have no time for me now.
yeah, this woman is doing the most. And also, I can't assert my authority to a certain level because I'm doing this as who, you know? When you're in control of the coin purse, when you are in charge of the money that comes in and how it's going to be distributed and who's going to get who, there's a certain authority you have, you know. Mimi ndo kusema, nikisema leo hatukuli nyama, hamtakula nyama, mtachemsha matumbo. Yeah, that's what you're gonna do. But if you say hamkuli nyama sababu nimesema, not because there's no money, but sababu nimesema mukule matumbo, and your wife goes back to her purse and goes to the butchery and buys meat, what you going to do?
You don't eat that with you go?
Are you not going to eat? Are you not? In fact, she's going to cook meat for her family and cook matumbo for you who wanted matumbo. Maybe you are craving it, babes. That's how it is. But so in my opinion, I feel like the only people who have a problem with work-life balance when it comes to relationships are men who feel like they should be getting a bit more attention. What do you think?
I think I agree with you to like 85%, because there's also the fact that there's some women who really do want that wholesome family life, who have more than one child, and now it's become like you have 3 or 4 kids. You know, when you have one kid, it's easy to balance, you know. Even when you delegate, you're just delegating to, you need one person to sort out this kid until I'm home, you know. When you have an easy work day as well, it kind of eases how much pressure you have. But now I'm thinking about a woman who is having to wake up at 4 a.m. to make sure she's taking care of her children, getting them ready, making sure she's packing their lunches and whatever, getting herself ready to go to work, and then having to pick up the kids, drop them off at school, get to work, finish up with what she's doing, has maybe the person who's cleaning at home doesn't have the ability to go and pick up the kids, so then she has to go and pick up the kids, drop them off. You know, there are women who live like that though. There are women who don't have that supportive partner, and this is actually a big issue in our community, because men are like, me, I provide the end. We've talked about this many times. My responsibility with fatherhood ends at I bring food home, the end. The rest of it, how you cook it, what time you cook it, that's entirely up to you and your children to decide. You know, like, there are people, and that is unfortunately a larger majority than we would like to admit. I think as you and I, as millennials and millennial Z, technically, we have had a very different experience of marriage and relationships and parenting, because we have partners who are supportive, who understand that I don't have to wait for this shorty to come back and wash dishes. Like, if there are dishes in the sink, my husband will wash them. Like, who is going to beat him? Who will beat him?
It's his house.
What is he taking away from him? Nothing. He lives there. And in the same way nowadays, if there's trash, I don't also feel the need to like go, oh no, I did the dishes, you take out the trash. Now I just take out the trash. He's washing dishes over there, me, I'll just take out the trash. It's like there are no specific roles and specific ways in which things have to be done simply because that's how it's being done. No, we're learning, we're living, we're figuring it out as we go. Now I'm thinking about the woman who doesn't have that, who has to then make sure she's doing the dishes. Girl, you even forget that neighbor of yours who the husband says he cannot eat rice. He can't eat rice.
This babe
so she has to cook ugali on the corner there for her husband, and then cook the rest of the food for everybody else. You're forgetting that woman. She also has to take care of her children, because a man who can't eat ugali and you have to cook him 2 meals is also not coming and helping you with diapers, babes. You postpartum and your children, mko pamoja, same was up. You figure it out. And these are the women who unfortunately are the larger majority in our community. So when I think about that woman, and I see her trying to be told by us every so often, take care of yourself, find self-love, be out there,
self-care,
you know, self-care, go do your nails, go do your hair, go do a walk, go journal. Sometimes I think about it and I'm like, yeah, with what time? What time does she have? She has to then get home, so she's picked up her kids from school, and then she has to get home and cook the ugali for her husband in the matumbo, and then the meat and the rest of the food for the rest of the children. Figure out, bedhe umefua uniform ya watoto? Hapana. Viatu watu wamebrush? Watu wamefanya homework? Watu wame da. Okay, mommy, I want you to talk to you. I want to talk to you. She still has to delegate time to talk to these children and find out, how was your day, kids? How was da. And then eventually put them to bed, and then eventually she has now her moment of silence. But guess what? Knock knock, husband is here. Now she has to do her third job, which is being a wife. She has to gawa over here a little bit. So imagine that woman. Of course it's going to be insane for her to try and find work-life balance. It's going to be absolutely madness. And honestly, hats off to you if you're able to manage and budget your time in that way. Your weekends are not yours. Guess what? Samantha has a birthday party she has to go to. Kevin has to go and play football where the other kid is now a toddler. You have to now make sure you're staying with them, because the rest of the week you've not been able to stay with them. And then at the same time, your husband is saying, we have to go and visit my relatives. That's a lot. It really is a lot. So I think when you think about that woman, sometimes, if we take out the man from the equation altogether, because oftentimes we should anyway, they are not very helpful. But if you take that out and you leave the woman, it can be quite a hassle on how am I going to balance this. And I think it's that acceptance of, look, I have all these things to do, but how do I better prioritize myself in the situation? If it's telling everyone, when I get home, I need an hour. Whatever you do, leave me alone for an hour. I just need 1 hour to USA, to talk to my therapist, to just sit down and watch a movie for myself, to read a book, to stay in the...